So I wanted to just bring this entire Six Sigma. We all know that it focuses on the customer needs, which you are already in your projects is already mentioned, and we are looking for a data-driven decisions. Therefore, you are trying to collect the data or the information which we need to convert into a data, and then we try to reduce the variability depending on the projects, and it's a discipline project, right? And at the same time, I want you to be cautious that it's not an end in itself. That means every project requires a Six Sigma approach. No, not necessarily. It's not required. So you need to be, and it is not a replacement of your scientific or the process knowledge. So that's another important thing. Some people, in my experience, people used to ask, so we are doing this and we are not black belts, we're not green belts, and we are still improving. So what does it mean? We don't know anything, or how do we go about it? So we all know that this is not a replacement for the scientific and applicable to every problem in entirety, I told you. And anyway, it is to be not to be driven by the consultant, but by yourself. Any thoughts on this? Do you agree with this kind of thing? Because you're all pretty much experienced in your respective areas, and you're already implementing
Absolutely
many
agree.
projects.
Yes, yes.
Okay. You're aware of all these things, right? No issues. Okay. So this is about the discussion on the data and why it's important. We'll come to this part also, because why I'm saying with the discrete data or why it's important is, if you look at what is the type of y and what is the type of x, then our areas of analysis will change. If y is a continuous, we need to get into this kind of regression, and x is a continuous, you have a almost like a y can be discrete or a continuous, x can be discrete or continuous. You have 2 to the power of square, 2 square, around 4 possible ways of doing analysis. So therefore this is most important for us. That's what I'm asking. I'm asking for most of the projects which we are doing. That is the question which we should be aware of that, number one, and we should be 100% sure this is the data where it comes from. Okay. And why this is helpful is, again, when we do the data treatment, then obviously all these things will come into the picture. So, which you are all aware of it. Because if you are looking at the whether do your data has a stability, is it normal or not normal, what is the test of equivariance and all. Okay, that's what I'm asking, why the which type of the data. So, and what about this project, Bhargav, in your project, how you are treating your percentages? This is also your y. Your y is considered as what, like how do I type, how do I specify this y?
You're looking at the percentage, right?
Yeah, this is I'm talking about 85 to
CSAT,
currently you are around
Correct.
80%.
Correct. Correct.
So what is the
CSAT
definition?
score.
Yeah, CSAT score.
CSAT
So
score.
CSAT score, right?
yeah, CSAT score. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, this is around. So how you are dealing? Dealing means considering your data of the percentage.
Yeah, it's basically a number of 4 and 5 ratings divided by the total number of surveys received.
Okay, agreed. So is it discrete or is it continuous?
It is discrete. It is ordinal, right? So we are having a rating of 1 to 5.
Hmm. And that is the ordinal. That one, you are right. There, the person who are doing the survey, they cannot choose 4.5 or 3.5 because you have to either one, two. That is absolutely discrete. We all know that. That
Yeah.
I think everybody agrees. Now I'm talking about the percentage.
Yeah. So number of 4s and 5s, you add that total count of 4s and 5s, you divide that by the total survey count.
Hmm. Correct. So
That
you
is
will
the
get into a
percentage that you
percentage.
get.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
Now I'm
percentage.
talking about this is your percentage. This is which is our Y currently. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is you
Business
would like to
moves fast, and no
con-
one wants to waste time or make mistakes.
so consider this as a discrete.
Okay.
Are a continuous? That's what I'm asking. So you are considering it as discrete. Any reason for that? Is it because of you are using 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, which are the ordinal numbers? That's why you are also considering this as a discrete, if I
Yeah.
understand correctly.
Yeah.
And e-commerce client here, Subranil, how your why? What is your this thing?
So I'm considering it as a pseudo continuous because
Oh,
I have to do a lot of correlation when it comes to like CSAT as against
no, no,
FCR
no,
percent.
no. Okay, okay. Don't worry about it. When your percent is what is the y actually? Is it how should I write y?
So it's a CSAT percentage where it is promoters, it's count
CSAT
of promote.
score. Can I say CSAT score?
So ideally we should treat it as a discrete because it's a count data on the numerator and count data on denominator.
Yeah, that's count data. That's what that's similar to what
Bhargav is
Bargos.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
but
okay.
but when it comes to like relation correlation, another thing we have to treat, I mean we treat it as a pseudo continuous because it's a linear correlation that we need to look
Yeah.
into.
Okay, so your logic is because I need to do a lot of correlations with respect to this, so I'm using as a continuous. Otherwise, it should be discrete.
Yeah, so
Yeah. The
suppose
thing
if I
is,
have to do a if I have to do a stability analysis, I'll go for the
Yeah, that's absolutely you are interesting. Our discussion is very interesting because this is absolutely is what I was mentioning here few minutes back.
and the same holds for a lot of other types of data also, sir. So the thing
Y-
is, for example,
y-
here we are
Yeah.
looking at an ordinal scale where we are converting it to a continuous data so that it
Yes.
helps us in running some tests, right? Similarly, if
Yes.
you look at quality also
Huh.
is binary, right? You have a yes and a no, but you
Huh.
actually convert that into a percentage.
Yes.
And then you
That's
start looking at quality percentage, and there again you have a particular target, and then you try working with the same, right? So
who is speaking here? Quality
this is
person. Some.
Bhargav. This is Bhargav.
Okay, I mean Bargo only. Okay, so quality percentage. That you're right. So what we are trying to do interestingly is we are converting a discrete data into a continuous data, like what
Correct.
Shubhnil is mentioning, in order
Correct.
to make it simpler and to do a much better analysis compared to a discrete. Discrete, if you are fixed with, we are stuck with a particular
yeah, we are stuck with
ordinal
chi-square.
data. Yeah, chi-square. Then we have to do the chi-square only, that kind of a data analysis. So, and this is something you are aware of is also mm, central limit theorem, right? You are already aware of that central limit theorem. Maybe we will explain to that. That essentially it says is most of the natural processes are all normal data process, right? Even if you take a little non-normal data and you keep on collecting the samples from the non-normal population and you plot those means, again that will lead to a normal distribution. Therefore, the simplification which you are trying to do is not against the natural laws. Okay, I'm just assuring what I'm saying. And here is my quick understanding of what is a continuous data. You already know, which can be measured into a continuous scale. So any data which you are trying to keep into a continuous mode is it should treat as a continuous data. So the percentages, in my view, they should be continuous, okay, for all your analysis. And when you try to bring certain you wanted to convert, let's say 85.5% has come as an outcome, and you wanted to convert into the actual survey points or some other nominal points, then you need to convert this 85.5, whether it is 86 or 84, 85.4 is 85. That decision you need to make and then convert into the discrete data, because the discrete data is your output at the end of the day. Okay, am I clear? Hello.
Yes,
Do
yes.
you all agree? You may disagree also. Because there's no hard and fast rule in this kind of discussions, because you're also into this kind of a field for quite some time. You know what is the right thing or what is the wrong thing. And there is no, most of the times I feel in my 24 years of experience is that there's no right and wrong, which is the correct way to recollect what Archana was mentioning. we should understand what is the process, what is the basis of that, and if we are able to get into the right perspective, then there is nothing like a hard and fast rule. This is the only approach we should do it. Okay, because you are, if you consider it's a
Gopal, the
discrete,
only
yeah, if you consider it's a discrete, we need to do that. Should we do a discrete like analysis? Those kind of questions we should ask ourselves, which is the right or wrong. Yeah. Yes, madam.
Gopal sir, the only thing which I'm always confused about, and I don't have the answer. I'm very much clear on all the concept of continuous and discrete data, converting continuous to discrete and discrete to continuous, and what is the
Yeah.
outcome depending
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that doing the
Absolutely.
testing.
Absolutely.
But
Okay.
I did not arrive to a solution or conclusion. Then how, as a standard, a percentage should be treated? Because in some of the projects I have seen people treating it as discrete purely, and some of the people treating it as continuous and calling it as pseudo continuous. So if you're treating continuous, then why you're even calling pseudo continuous? So do you have a clear direction that whether percentage should be treated as discrete continuous? It is up to individual choice also.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's that's what. So the logic for a continuous data is it can be, first of all, continuous data is easy to treat. That means when you do to easy means within you'll get a much more meaningful conclusions, and the data analysis or the treatment is easier in the everywhere across the world. Okay, number one. That's why whenever the, even the binomial, if you look at all the distributions, what is a binomial distribution? You get either 0 or 1. You know, probability. I'm just
Yeah.
I don't think I'm telling a story. If you look at a coin, flip the coin, which I'm going to talk to you a few minutes later. I'm just bringing it. It's only either head or tail, either 0 or 1 kind of thing, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then,
Yes.
yes, when that 0 and 1, if you do many number of times, what will happen is you will come out with a normal distribution. You all know that.
Mhm.
Therefore, what is the normal distribution curve? Is essentially you are trying to make a discrete information into by maximum number of points or the data you are converting into normal distribution, because that's the treatment of the entire data or analysis will be much more authentic, and the conclusions are much more authentic. Therefore, that's where you should always do. A lot of people does it. That's why you are also doing it. I know that's very easy to handle and all. Therefore, when you do this way, you should totally believe this is a pseudo. If you want to call pseudo, it is absolutely one. This is a continuous data, and I need to treat like that. And of course, the outcome at the end of the day, what happened? You do all the analysis. When you come to the realistic world and present 95%, 95.5% of whatever this data, let's say 95% of the partner content, 85.5. If people do not like it, your customers or your supervisor say, what is this 85.5% partner? Either it should be 85 or 86. Then that's where you need to choose. Otherwise, this is a realistic value of 85.5% is the optimum. That's the value. So when you're converting into discrete data, you need to be a little careful. That's all.
Okay.
Also, another point is, sir, the thing also is sometimes the client wants it in, like, they want it to be tracked and reported in this fashion. So a lot of times the service providers also go with the same formula. They don't go to, like, other lens of trying to explain and come up with a new formula which will make more sense to the client. So sometimes they just go with what the client wants and how it needs to be reported.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That's true. That's what I'm saying. If the client wants a discrete data, you need to convert that into a proper discrete data and we'll be able to show. If you 85%, we should all believe that it's a pseudo continuous or a continuous entity. So it's only analysis part. You can always, that's your area of work. Therefore, how you are treating the actual ordinal data, converting into a percentage and doing the entire treatment of the analysis is all your purview. That's what you have to believe in. So when you show it to the customer client at the end of the analysis, you can convert it. I
So
guess.
if client wants to have a look at the whole value, not the decibel value, like 85%, let's say
Hmm.
86%.
Yeah.
So in that case, it should be treated as discrete.
No. even there also, I only reducing your continuous terms, no, in the Excel sheet also, your decimals, reduce the decimals to 0 decimal or 1 decimal. That's what you are doing. 84.5, let's say, then it can be 85%. You treat it and show it to them. You are reducing the decimals to 0. That's it,
Okay.
because that's what they want. They are not accepting the continuous nature of the person. That essentially is, you already know about it. And with respect to the data, the next one is the tendency, central tendency. So we are looking at the data, and pretty much we had a good discussion on the whether discrete continuous. That's reasonably good. And then I wanted to just cross check with you, all of you. Suppose if the data is there of a y or a x, uh, what is the what else do we want with respect to the data? What is the characteristics of the data? Central tendency. You all know that. Just I'm giving you some idea.
So whether the data is normal or non normal.
Okay, distribution. Distribution is one of the things. Then what else? Looking at the data. Suppose you got all of you got this data. Then you look at the. Have you done some any distribution of these graphs? I mean these Y's, Archana or Avinash, Bhargav. Sorry, Bhargav and Shubhranil. Have you done any distribution for these Y's?
Yeah, so the basic thing that we look at here is do a normal distribution. That will give us a lot of information on the current status of the process or the performance. It will give you the p-value, whether the data is normal or not. It will also give you the standard deviation, the number of points that you're looking at.
Okay.
And if
So
you do a run chart, or if you do a IMR chart, for example, it will also
yeah,
give you
yeah,
the points out of control, right? So you can always, if you're
yes,
doing a day-wise data collection, so you will also get to know
yeah,
which were the dates when the points were out of control, and you can basically get to those outliers also.
yeah, yeah. Stability of the process data. You are looking at it.
Absolutely,
Alignment.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And suppose if the data is given, that's about the graphs you are mentioning. I'm asking what are the characteristics of the data? Suppose one data we have got it. Let's say Y is partners creation, or Y CSAT score has come to me. What are all the features we need to observe from the data? One is distribution. When data is there, we wanted to check whether the data is normally distributed or not. That's what you run the distribution of the thing. And what else? Somebody mentioned standard deviation.
Central
You all know
tendency.
it. Standard deviation. What is the other one? Data
Central
consistency.
tendency.
Central
Central
tendency.
tendency, whether we need to
Yeah.
consider mean or median.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Tendency and standard deviation, central tendency, and data consistency. You are talking about, right? Is that what I heard correctly? Somebody is saying data consistency.
I
Stable.
think I think the data consistency, it will come under whether the data is skewed or not, like that, right?
Yeah, correct.
Whether that
That's no, that data can be consistent, but it can be skewed. The distribution can be skewed. That
yeah,
is
distribution
slightly
can be
different.
skewed. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Now,
see,
when you
we are
say
talking about
consistency, is it when you say
yeah,
consistency, is it about the periodicity of the data being collected, or is it
Ability.
We also need to consider stable, whether the data is
stable.
stable or not.
stable or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Exactly. Data consistency means is a lot of outliers are there, or do we have a
Yes,
trend,
outlier.
a
Yeah.
gradual trend? That's what one of I do not remember the name, who is speaking about the control charts. We'll put it
Yeah,
whether it's in
I
the
did.
mean and
I
all
did,
that.
Gopal. Yeah.
Yes, control chart I spoke about, because it has this control limit and the USL and LSL, right? That
Yes.
because the USL and LSL both set by the customer. That is the
Yeah.
customer, and control
Correct.
limit is, yeah, like that, plus minus 3 sigma. So that is the.
Right. So now, a quick question on you all know about all these things, standard deviation and all. I did not explain too much on this. When do you consider mean, median, or mode? In this data of, for example, let's talk one by one. In the partner creation percentage, which one do you consider for our analysis? Archana? Is it?
So this is a discrete data, and along with that, this is a non-normal data.
Your data is a non-normal. You already identified. Okay, good. This is a
Yeah.
non-normal data.
So we'll go with median.
Normal data. Okay, so you go with the median. Okay, good.
And if it would
Else?
have been
because
the
any
data,
data
it
set
would
which
have
is
been
having
normal, then I would have gone with mean.
Okay. And you are saying something? Somebody? Hello? You all
From
agree
my
with this?
understanding, I think the data set which is having too many outliers, I think it's better to take the median, the middle value instead of mean, because mean also affected by the outliers, right?
Yeah, mean also will get out affected by the outliers. Not that much because of the formulae associated with it. Effect will be there, but not very significant effect. But it depends on the distribution. You should take a call whether it is a mean or a median. You draw, you know
Because
that.
if I have a data set of, yeah, sorry.
So you have the mean this basic statistics, some basic statistics and the descriptive statistics. You see the graph, then you'll come to know the normality test, whether
Yes.
it's a non-normal or not. Then you make a call. If it is a normal, generally you take mean, and if it is a non-normal, you take median. So here at this point, I'm not talking whether your data is a lot of outliers are there, skewed. I do not know about it. That's how I think we should go. Am I right? Or are we doing that way or no?
Gopal, sir, this is another thing that we do.
Uh,
What I would probably
your name,
yeah, sir, this is
Subramanian?
Bhargav, sorry.
Bhargav, yeah.
Yeah. So what we basically do is when you do a control chart or when you try and do a run chart, especially let's say control chart, and try and see if the data is stable or not, you will also get the outliers, right? So what we also do is you can try and do a normalization of data, right? So you can pull out the outliers and try and look out for if the data is still normal. If you can't do that normalization,
no, stable. Data is stable. Control chart stuck.
Yeah, if the data is stable, you're fine.
Yeah.
Right, it is well within the limits, and you don't have too many
outlier. I mean, control out of the control limits.
Yeah.
Out of the control
Yeah,
limits.
but if the outliers are too many, we cannot ignore the outlier, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the point I wanted to tell you is to remove. You can remove an outlier, but if you know the root cause for that, is it any special reason or specific reason, then you can do it.
Because the outliers doesn't mean it's always bad. I mean, it can also reveal some new opportunity, right?
Correct.
Yes.
How you are doing it, Bhargav?
So what we basically do is once we get to know there are certain outliers, we obviously mark those outliers and the dates. If I'm doing a day-wise data tracking and I'm trying to look at day-wise trends, obviously I'll mark those days which are outliers. And like Abhishek just mentioned, probably it could be something of a special cause we don't know.
Right?
Yeah. And there could be some special causes where either there's a change in the product, there is a new survey released, there's a new product release, or there is a new team which is coming to the floor. There can be multiple things that could go wrong, right? Because of which the percentage would have dropped. So we obviously mark those days as special causes. And if it's not affecting my volume of numbers that I'm picking up, I still have enough sample size to try and come up with inference. Then I go pull out the outliers and then I try doing a normality test again. Let's say if I get a normal kind of a trend,
normality test,
then I go
normal
ahead
data.
with it. Then I'll go ahead with the analysis, taking out these outliers. If it's still not normal, and I'm going to be losing more than 30 to 40% of my data, sometimes then we might have to start thinking, then we'll have to look at median, right? And try and see why those major points of variance have come up. First, we'll have to try and sort that out, and then probably we'll have to go further.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. We all agree that this is non-normal data, and then we have to go about that.
I think these outliers can best described by the scatter plot with the base fit line, right? You can easily identify the outliers.
Scatter plot, you can do our control charts also, out of control limits also. is a unstable
Yeah,
data.
scatter plot, when you have the base fitted line, then you
Huh.
can identify the outlier also, where y is equal to mx plus c is normal, just very
Yeah.
linear regression.
But I think basic statistics only will tell you that that's the right thing in all
Yes,
of it.
absolutely. Yeah. Basic
So
statistics.
you will see the normal graph, and right in the bottom you will see a bar chart, and then sorry, no, a box plot, and then you see that there are outliers very clearly marked, where
Yes,
you can
in
know
box plot also. Yeah.
mitigate.
Yeah, the
Yes,
last
yes.
one will be the run chart actually.
What is the last one? Is run chart?
Run chart, run chart.
When you say last one, what does it mean?
When you do a graphical analysis of the data,
You will do it at the last. You're saying.
yeah. So the first graph that you see will be your distribution. It's your histogram that shows you. The second one will be your box plot, and the third one will be a run chart.
Yeah, yeah, in the bottommost. Yeah, it will
Yeah,
be. It depends on the Minitab versions you are having it.
yeah.
But interestingly, I wanted to know another question is there. Okay, so you are doing control chart stability and then looking at the data, whether it's a normal or non-normal, and you are choosing. Okay, non-normal or normal depends on that. And then you will choose a whether it's a median or a mode, right? Mean or median, correct? And what about you, Shubhani? Same way?
Sorry.
You how do you treat your data? Suppose now we all understood that we for a given data like in your C-SCAP score of 70 to 75%, you need a distribution, standard deviation, central tendency. But before doing that, how do you which one do you choose? Do you choose mean or a mode as a central tendency?
So mode is rarely chosen. It's usually mean or median, depending on whether it's a normal or non-normal distribution.
In your current data, is it normal or non-normal? Currently, what is
Non-normal.
your understanding? Non-normal only,
It's a non-normal data.
and therefore you choose median.
As I said, we get a sinusoidal curve, and
Yeah.
middle of the month the dip.
Uh,
We get
that's
it cannot be a normal.
exactly. So you need to uh, keep the data without that seasonal interaction. We need to look at how do you. But one point I wanted to understand is which one do you choose? First of all, that when you do the data treatment, I think I have mentioned in the last data. First, you have to do a IMR chart of the data because that will help you to look at the stability. That's what he is mentioning. Before doing the normality, you have to understand whether my data is within my control limits or not. If it is not in control limit, your data may not be stable. Reasons can be anything like you are seasonal or something like that. Then you need to make a different choice. How do we treat this data as is, or with that means your data is not stable, then your normality test may fail. Correct. Always you'll end up with a non-normal data. So there must be, if there is any specific reason for the outliers of out of the control data, that's where we need to look at when we, because we are at the end of the day, we are getting into some kind of a analysis of the models we are trying to develop. So that model should incorporate this or not. That's a kind of a question you should have it. Then you'll be doing normal data. Then only you'll see whether data is non-normal, normal. So I want you to look at the stability part first. Whoever is doing
Absolutely.
this, that's right.
If the data
Agree?
is not normal, then normally distributed, then we can go for this log normal distribution, right?
Yeah. Log normal distributions or the transformations. You can use Johnson
Yeah.
Johnson transformation. Those kind of things. We can do it. That's but we need to do that. If I understand, if I'm just repeating for is stability of the data, number one. And if your data is within control, no issue, it's very much stable. If the data is frequently out of control, always it's going beyond the control limit. You know the control limits, no? They're not specification limits. That's all process control limits only. That's your
Yes.
data has certain process has certain variation, and most of the times it is going beyond those control limits for the reasons as per special reasons. Usually, that's why the control charts will provide us a special reasons for it. Therefore, do we need to incorporate that in the model or not is your decision. Based on that, you have to take it. Okay, I hope you are all doing that way. Okay, once this is a normal median and then how are we treating that? We will come to that.